熱くなれ夢見た明日を必ずいつか捕まえる走り出せ振り向くことなく冷たい夜
What the hell happened? What's this? Ah, fuck. Hello everybody, this is Schway Goose, and today is my 23rd birthday. Yay! It's very late at night. I recorded another intro previously, but I didn't like it, so here's this one. Yeah, so I'm 23 now, and I decided to do something. So I'm making a very, very generic top 10 games list. I don't know why, but I just thought it would be fun to do. So, yeah. Just a little thing, I'm not very consistent, so I don't imagine this list will stay the same for too long. So just as of now, as of December 29th, 2020, these are my top 10 games of all time. Enjoy. So, when I was a kid, there was this game I used to play all the time. In fact, I think this is the first game I ever played. Either this or another game, I can't really remember. Anyway, that game is Kirby's Dream Land 2 for the Game Boy. Which isn't on this list. No, the story for the number 10 spot takes place in the spring of 2017. I was a 19-year-old lad, and I was in my local mall one day. I had some cash from a job I was working at the time, and I decided to head into GameStop to pick up some games. I saw two 3DS games sitting on the top shelf of the store. I had enough money for both of them, so I decided to pick them up. One of the games was Kirby Planet Robobot, and the other game is the game that takes the number 10 spot on this list. Kirby Triple Deluxe. You're probably wondering why I chose Triple Deluxe instead of Planet Robobot, which is considered by many to be the superior game. Well, the answer's simple. Triple Deluxe got me back into Kirby. Before I played this game, I haven't played much of Kirby since my freshman year of high school. Aside from that one time I played Return to Dreamland, my life is pretty much Kirby-free. That is until I played Triple Deluxe. It reminded me of why I loved Kirby as a kid, and I've cherished it ever since. I'll always love this game, no matter what. I like JRPGs. A lot, actually. However, this is the only one that'll be on the list. I have to be in a very specific mindset to want to play them, honestly, but I feel like that's the same for everyone. Anyway, a series I'm particularly partial towards is the Megami Tensei series. The game that set me down on this path was actually Persona 4 Golden. I played it back when I was 16 on my old PSP then, and I loved almost every second of it. It got me into the rest of the Persona games, and before long I would move on to some of the other series like Mainline. One particular game, however, really spoke to me. It's a game that instantly hooked me the second I turned the game on. And that game is Devil Summoner 2, Raido Kuzunoha vs. King Abaddon. Abaddon? Abaddon? I don't know. Yeah, Devil Summoner 2 is what I personally consider to be a perfect example of what a sequel should be. While the story may not be as engaging as Soulless Army's story, just about everything else is a major improvement. You can summon 2 demons to battle instead of 1. Demon negotiations are back, Raido moves a lot quicker in the overworld, the camera angles for battles isn't hot garbage, random encounters happen a lot less frequently, and so much more. While I'll always love Soulless Army, King Abaddon just made so many improvements that it's kinda hard to go back to it. The music is also really good, definitely on the same level as Soulless Army's, but that's kinda expected from someone like Shoji Meguro. But to be honest, I almost didn't put this game on this list. See, I'm playing another Megaten game at the moment, and I'm honestly starting to feel like I'm liking it more than Raido 2. But I haven't beaten it yet, so I'll have to save that thought for later. Anyway, Devil Summoner 2, Raido Kuzunoha vs King Abaddon is a sequel done right, and for that, it's number 9 on this list. For now. Bloodborne. It's Bloodborne. Don't have much to say. Just play it. So, let's go back to 2017 again. It's September, I just got back from community college one day, and I had some cash on me, so I decided to check out a little game that a good friend of mine recommended to me back then. That game just so happened to be Yakuza 0. I fell in love with it as soon as I played this game, and beating it only left me wanting more. So then after that, I played some Yakuza Kiwami since the game had just come out at the time. That just made me love the series even more, and by today I've played almost all the games in the series. Anyway, back on topic. Because of Yakuza 0, I was able to play the game that would end up on the number 7 spot on this list. Judgment. This game is fun. Like, really fun. I like the story, the gameplay style from Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2 that I love is back in full force, and it also adds cool stuff like the investigating crime scenes and other detective shenanigans. I love detective stories, and this just tickled a very particular fancy of mine. I'd really love if Ryuga Gotoko's studio continued Yagami's story and what other cases he may find himself in. Until then, the number 7 spot on this list will belong to Judgment.
Damn it! These guys won't stop coming on us! I meant at us!
Dude, that's gross. Anarchy.
Come on! That ain't what I meant!
Keep your head in the game, Kaito-san. Now let's go!
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of indie games. I don't have anything against them, I just haven't played many of them. It's not like I try to avoid them either, I just don't really know, but I don't play a lot of them. Don't get me wrong, the indie games I have played, like Castle Crashers and Among Us, are great and I love them, but we're not talking about them. No, today, we're talking about Hollow Knight. This is a game I played on a complete whim. I saw it on the Nintendo eShop in the summer of 2018, and I noticed how cheap it was. I just had to try it out, and something about it instantly clicked with me. I instantly fell in love with the atmosphere when I heard the wind of the howling cliffs. My first time in Dirtmouth was just me sitting on the bench for a while, listening to the theme, and my first steps into the ancient kingdom of Hallownest made me want to figure out what happened to it. The gameplay is really good as well. It reminded me of when I first played Castlevania Symphony of the Night back in high school. This game is one that I loved as soon as I started it. I just hope Silksong comes out soon. You know, I like Valve games. The first one I ever played was Portal 2 back when I was 13. It was a fun little game, but I wouldn't really play any other Valve games until about a year and a half later when I got into PC gaming. And the first game I ever downloaded on Steam was Team Fortress 2. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone at this point, but I'm very easily impressed, and Team Fortress 2 is another one of those games that I just instantly fell in love with. I still play this game today, juggling between each class to try and hone my skills as them. Playing the game just makes me feel good. Although I guess I should probably try creators.tf or TF2 Classic, considering the current state of the game.
Oh, they're going to have to glue you back together in hell!
So, when I was a kid, there was this game I used to play all the time. In fact, I think this is the first game I ever played. Wait a minute. Didn't I already talk about this? Yeah, this is that other game I was referring to when I was talking about Kirby. Let's not dwell too much on the fact that Halo Combat Evolved of all things was one of the first games I ever played back when I was a 4-year-old. Anyway, like Dreamland 2, this game isn't what's on this list. No, this is another Halo game. A game that would make its placement on this list seem like a hot take if this video came out when it was released. Thankfully though, the opinion on this game has changed over time, and now more and more people are talking about how it's their favorite game in the series as well. That game is Halo 3 ODST.
You know the music. Time to dance.
For a short spin-off that was initially planned as DLC, ODST does what it sets out to do back in 2009. It's a fun little side story about what happens after Master Chief and the crew of the In Amber Clad chase after Regret in Halo 2. I really like how much weaker you are compared to the Chief as a simple ODST. It definitely feels like you have to be more careful with your strategies since you're not a nigh unstoppable super soldier. I'm constantly trying to hide behind cover, trying to use the best weapon combinations against the various Covenant troops, rather than just running and gunning, whacking people in the face with my fists like I would as the Chief. I also really love the music and atmosphere. It all has this detective noir feeling about it, and I love it, like I mentioned back with Judgment. The pseudo-open world aspect of it was really cool too. It reminded me of Halo CE's second level. It's something that I really wish Halo would do again. I know Infinite's gonna have an open world, and I'm really excited, but I want to see a game that takes place in a city like New Mombasa. Maybe someday.
Me and my team? Guess we're the desperate measures.
Oh yeah, we're in for it now. The top 3. To be honest, for this spot, I was thinking of having it be a 3-way tie between 3 games from a specific series, because choosing one was very hard for me. I couldn't just choose one game over the others here. Those games being Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3, and... Sorry. Anyway, I eventually decided that having a tie would probably break the one game per franchise rule. Now, to be fair, this part in particular fluctuates. While I might say I love this game at one point, after a while, I might end up liking another one more. That being said, my favorite Metal Gear game, and my overall third favorite game for now, is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Honestly, what can I say about Snake Eater that hasn't already been said? So many people have sung its praises for good reason. I can't really add anything new to the conversation at this point, especially since it's been 14 years after its release. I played this game along with Sons of Liberty for the first time back in 2013. It's honestly the only reason I got a PS Vita back in the day. I remember back when I first got it, they were the only games I played for weeks back then. The reason why I'm putting Snake Eater on this list, though, is because of how it blew my 15-year-old mind back then. It was just so much fun to play. I loved sneaking through the jungles of the Soviet Union, trying my best not to get caught, and finally get that stealth camo bonus. The boss battles were so much fun, especially the last fight against the boss, and that ending hit me really hard back then. Every now and then, I'll listen to Snake Eater's main theme, and I'm instantly hit with a wave of nostalgia for when I first played it. I love this game, as well as the rest of the Metal Gear franchise. Too bad about what kind of state it's in now, though. I know this is usually supposed to be saved for right before the number 1 spot, but with how important these last 2 games on this list are, I decided to have it take place here instead. There are a lot of games that I didn't put on this list. These are all games that I love, but just not as much as the rest of these games. I'm just gonna rapid fire them and say a few words about each of them. Final Fantasy IV is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and I really wanted to put it on this list, but I couldn't find a proper place to do it. Persona 2 is really good, but I had the same problem with this as I did with Final Fantasy IV. Star Wars Republic Commando is my favorite Star Wars game. I wish we had more games like it. Remake 2 is fantastic, but not fantastic enough, I guess. Left 4 Dead 2 is a great game with an even greater modding community. I'm really excited for Back 4 Blood. Mega Man X. I don't know which one is my favorite. Capcom, make X9 already. That's all I could really think of. Back to the show. A little heads up from this point onwards. The next 2 games on this list are very important to me, and they bring out some strong emotions whenever I talk about them. So this next part of the video won't have any stupid jokes or anything of that nature.
Look who it is. Ain't you got a habit of just showing up?
When I got something to take care of, sure.
Just you left, is it?
Yeah, just me.
I know at this point, almost everyone can agree that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a better game than the original. The story is a huge improvement over the first one, as well as the writing and characters. I'm one of those people. However, while I do believe that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a better game than the original, and I love it to death, I'd be lying if I said that I liked it more than the first game.
My name's John Marston.
What are you doing here, Mr. Marston?
I'm here to capture or kill Bill Williamson.
Okay.
I first played Red Dead Redemption when it came out 10 years ago, back when I was 12. My brother just sort of brought it home one day, and I decided to try it out. It took me a while to get the hang of it, but when I learned the ins and outs of the game, I was along for the ride. This game is important to me because, as a stupid 12-year-old, this was the first game that I played that had some kind of weight to it. I never played a game like this before. Games like Halo, Lost Planet, Star Wars Battlefront 2, or Smash Bros. Didn't have this kind of story before. Characters didn't have much in the way of actual development in the games I played before this. I genuinely cared about John Marston and his struggles. I wanted him to be with his family again. I wanted him to get his happy ending. I was with him for the entire ride. That's not the only reason why I put this game this high on the list, though. The other big reason is because Red Dead Redemption was the first game to make me cry. John Marston's death was a hard-hitting, gut-wrenching scene for 12-year-old Schway. It was something that I still think about today, even 10 years later, and it still makes me sad to think about it. Honestly, I don't blame any of you for thinking that I put Red Dead Redemption this high on the list for nostalgic purposes. It probably seems that way, but in all honesty, Red Dead Redemption helped shape me into who I am today. It made me appreciate games and movies with more serious kinds of stories. It made me appreciate characters that actually have development. I owe so much to this game, but there's one more game that I like just a little more.
Our time has passed, John.
This is probably the hardest game for me to talk about on this list. Hardest game for me to talk about just in general. It means so much to me that I have so much trouble looking at it objectively. It's a game that I'm very emotionally attached to. It's the only piece of media where I take negative things people say about it personally. Most importantly, it's a game that helped me get through a really dark time in my life. And the reason why I wanted to make this video today is because today marks the 5th anniversary of when I beat this game, on December 29th, 2015, the day I turned 18 years old. That game is Silent Hill 2. This is another game I tried on a whim. I wanted to get into Silent Hill after I watched Jordan Underneath's videos on the series, back when he had his own little retrospective a few years back. To be honest, I didn't think this game would affect me the way it did. I just wanted to play something that seemed scary because a YouTuber I liked talked about it. I didn't know that I would love this game as much as I do. This game makes me feel such a wide array of emotion, from happiness to sadness, from fear to relief, from despair to hopefulness. I'm honestly having so much trouble describing what it is that I love about this game. There's just so much to talk about. There's not just one thing I could say about this game. I feel like I have to describe every itty-bitty little detail possible for me to just talk about why I love this game as much as I do. I love James Sunderland's story and the interactions he has with the people around him. I love the town of Silent Hill. I love the different monsters and symbolism behind them. I love how James is an unreliable narrator. Whether he's conscious of it or not is a different story. I love the music and the overall tone of the game. There's just so much else I can list, but Silent Hill 2 is a game you have to experience for yourself. Even if you're spoiled on what happens in the game like I was, it's still worth trying at least once. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite game of all time, and no piece of media will ever come close to that.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. So then, why am I looking for her? Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place. Does she mean the park on the lake? We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us, staring at the water. Could Mary really be there? Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
Well, that took a long time. I started working on this at like 4 p.m. yesterday. It's almost 7:30 p.m. now. It's been more than 24 hours. Anyway, this video is kind of hard to do because I've never done anything like this before, and I'm not good with using Premiere, so I don't know how to make videos look good. But I do like the increase in quality from, you know, number 5 onwards because I actually got some sleep. Anyway, I hope y'all like this video. As usual, this is the second outro I'm recording. I'm not liking the first one. I wrote a script for this video, and I never write scripts, so that was fun. It's probably why I sound so unnatural, even though I took voice classes and all of that. Anyway, yeah, I'm 23 now, so got a year of that to look forward to. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.